51-second clip. Y'all bear with me. 51-second clip. I think this is. I don't agree with everything the way he said it, but I think this is kind of how black men used to talk to their young boys, used to talk to their young men in a very harsh, militant way, but with love and holding them accountable. Yep. Now they're not crying; they doing what they doing this.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? Who the hell said I got to like you?
Mm-hmm.
What law is there say I got to like you? Want to stand up in front of my face and ask a damn fool-ass question like that? Talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, damn it. I asked you a question. What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
As long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because you like me.
I don't know. Oh, it cut the good part out because he goes on to say, he goes on to say, because you like me. No, it ain't. I got to play the good part because he said, no, it ain't because I like you.
The crescendo, yeah.
I got to play the good part. Let's see. Maybe this one is a good video clip. He said, no, it ain't because I like you, because I have a responsibility.
Yes.
You are my son. I have a duty. This is how I talk to my son. Now I don't do all that, but I do tell him, look me in the eye when I talk to you. Look at me when I talk to you.
100%.
Come over, stand in front of me, look at me in my eye. Don't you know, you talk to your boys like that. They need to see a strong man. I tell my son the same thing. I would tell my son the same thing. I don't have to like you. You think
but Brandon, our job is not to like our children.
Right.
Our job, our position, our obligation, duty, and responsibility as a man, a father to our children is to correct them, to criticize them in a productive way. If we don't critique and criticize them when they're wrong or they need to get better at something, we don't give them perspective when we don't look them in the eye and talk to them with firm voices and correct where they're wrong. This is what's wrong with our society now. That movie is a great example of fatherhood. It's actually a remake of the Play Fence, which had the what's the other guy?
James Earl Jones.
Yes, always had the deep voice.
Oh man,
great clip.
His kids listen.
It's funny because if we go back to the values that most of us are brought up on, Christian values, even in the Bible, right? And again, I'm no preacher or pastor, and that's a parent. Even the Bible says you should always honor thy mother and your honor thy father and your mother, no matter what. Our society needs to go back to those value systems. We can't even talk to our kids like this no more. I do, but I really feel that there's a lack of this type of conversation in the homes, man. They don't, and why I say that is there's a lack of respecting authority. If there's no authority in the home, we have a problem. If they don't respect authority, then when they're faced with police officers that are in a position of authority, they do the exact same things that they've been doing at their home when their mothers and their grandmamas is raising them. So this is why you need fatherhood. You need examples just like this clip of good fatherhood, and tell them, hey, my job ain't to like you. I ain't supposed to like you. My job is not to be your friend. I'm your parent. As much as I strive to be your friend, I still understand I'm also your parent. I can only be but so cool with you until it's time for me to do what I'm supposed to do, and that is to critique you, to build you up to be a good woman, a good man, so that you can go out and be respectful to yourself and to other people in this society, so that other people will respect who you are, so that you can lead by example.
100%. You like is a very fickle term, and if you live your life with doing things you like or don't like, you'll be flip-flopping. It's that it doesn't matter what you like. It matters what your responsibility is. It's even like when you're married. Some things my wife may do, which is rare, but she do things that I don't like. That don't mean nothing to a marriage. She may not like something that I do. I may get to the point where I'm mad at her for a week and I don't like her. It don't matter if you like a person or not. You have a responsibility and a commitment that goes beyond your emotional, fickle responses. Let me play this little clip.
Facts.
Eat every day. Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because you like me.
Like you. I go out in the morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Now, let's get this straight right here and now before I go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday because he like me. He give it to me because he owe me. Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us, and liking your black ass wasn't part of the bargain. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Then get the hell out of my face and get on down to that A&P.
There you go.
That's what a father. And then these feckless fathers, or some of the fathers that are not involved, they are not getting to their children like this. I ain't trying to be cool with you. I don't care if you mad at me. At the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I have a responsibility to you. Sometimes I don't like the situation I'm in. I don't like what had happened, transpired. I don't like the way the situation went between me and my son's mama.
Yep.
That ain't got nothing to do with my responsibility. I feel bad and I'm hurt sometimes that my oldest son don't live here. That has nothing to do with my responsibility, even though I think certain things about his mama and as a parent. But when she called me because he cutting up, a part of me wants to say, go screw yourself, because the boy should be living with me and I wouldn't have to discipline him on the phone. But that doesn't matter because I have a responsibility. So I still get on that phone and I still lecture him, and I make sure that my son is not going to grow up and be a dummy. He's not going to grow up and be disrespectful. I don't care if I'm 1,000 miles away, if I'm light years away. I have a responsibility to my child, whether he's at my house or at his mama house. And I wish that men would take pride in that responsibility. And I tell my son all the time, I say, you are a Tatum. And my father's father told him that your name means something. My father tells me, boy, your name means something. And I tell my son, your name means something. When you at school and you doing what you do, you're a reflection of me. You're a reflection of your grandfather. Our family name. You put some respect on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell my son. And you 100%. A reflection, so you need to behave yourself at school. It ain't just about you. It's about who you're representing. And, you know, I get passionate about that because I believe fathers need to step their game up. These young boys out here thugging and they acting stupid and they going and they abusing women. They treat women a certain way because they daddy ain't telling them nothing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to say something about that too, because my dad was that exact same way that we saw in the clip. You know, I was a boy until like last year when he passed. What's up, boy? You doing all right? Like that was my name. Never Anthony, just boy. That's it. And then, you know, it was always yes sir, no sir. I learned that at an early age. And when I meet people for the first time, like, hey man, you been in the military, been in something? Like, nah, no military. It's just because I was raised. My dad was in the military, uncle was in the military, granddad. So I got that lineage from them. You know, understanding how to behave, understanding how to be disciplined, understanding how to carry myself. It matters a lot. And a lot of people, they just go out here, have kids randomly, and don't understand the value of a dad. They don't understand the value of a father. It's very, very important. They think, well, I got money, I got a PhD, this, that, and the third. I can just raise the child on my own. It's like, no. That's not how humans operate. You got to have that male and female, the mother and the father. It's very important. Very, very important. If you don't have either one, or there's an issue with either one, you're going to have problems. That's just how it goes. You may have some that arise from that and become, you know, fantastic, but generally that's not what happens. You got to have your father, and he's got to be a man. That's part of being the high value man right there. And that man in that film was not by any means rich, not perfect at all, but he still was a man, and he was able to communicate that to his son, telling him, hey, I don't gotta like you, but I have responsibility. I have duty. That's my obligation, regardless of how I feel about you. You know, men can't operate on feelings. You know, we can't do that, because if that was the case, then nothing would get done. That's why a lot of women, and nothing against women, I'm just saying, a lot of women don't want to vote for a female president because they understand how feelings operate. They understand that sometimes their hormones are raging and they can't really control how they feel. They crying. Why are you crying? I don't know why I'm crying. They understand that about themselves. Men can't do that. We got to be the balance to make sure everything is in alignment. At the same time, we got to have women so they can come with the emotional communication and that intelligence that we don't do very well in. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah, and, you know, most of the stuff, 90% of the stuff your kids learn from you, more specifically your sons, is just through watching how you treat your mom. You know, it's good for you to walk in the room and catch your parents kissing and be grossed out. You know, it's good to see how your father interacts with other men, how he shakes their hand when he sees them and looks them in their face. Mm-hmm. How, if my dad would always tell me, if your word ain't nothing, you ain't nothing. If you tell somebody you're going to do it, you got to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't tell them. But once you put your word on something, that's you. You are your word. And we can be friends later. When you're an adult, man, we can crack some beers and you can ask me some questions about, Dad, that one time. We can, you know, somewhat be peers. But until then, man, I got friends. I got friends. You got friends. So we don't need each other. We don't need to be friends with each other. Will there be affection and love? Of course. There'll be tender moments. Being a man is not just controlling your emotions and bottling your emotions up. You need to let those emotions out. You need to have a tender side to you as a man, especially with kids. But when it comes to this day-to-day, when it comes to this grind of parenting, no, there's clear lines. I'm the parent, you're the child. And it's not just because I got the job and I got the money, because that's how it needs to be. Because I need to teach you. I need to prepare you before I unleash you on the world. You need to have tools. Whether or not you plan on using them, that's up to you, but I'm going to give them to you. And number one is respect of yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, man, nobody going to think about respecting you. The world ain't the place to build yourself up and create yourself. You'll change over time, but some things need to be in place when you leave that house, when you go out in the world. And respect is big, especially for yourself. And as a man, hey, there's certain things that are required of us, and that's what we need to do. And I'm gonna teach you how to do it.